Before we had 8 Mile in 2002 and Get Rich or Die Trying in 2005, starring Eminem and 50 Cent respectively, back in July 27th, 1984, we had Purple Rain starring the late and legendary artist known as Prince. Now, just like 8 Mile and Get Rich or Die Trying, in which Eminem and 50 Cent would play as fictional versions of themselves in these films, and with these films having events loosely based off of what happened in these guys' lives, the same thing could be said for Prince in this movie, who plays as a character known as the Kid. Now, the Kid, he's an up and coming young artist. He has problems going on at home, and he's also at the same time trying to make it in the music industry. And he's trying to find that balance between the two. Because with his home life, his father is both verbally and physically abusive to him and his mother. He also has problems with his girlfriend, Apollonia. And he also has a rivalry with Morris Day and his band, The Time. And throughout this film, he's trying to balance out all three of these things. Now, at the end of the movie, he does come out on top, albeit through some struggle and through some hardships and through a lot of musical numbers throughout this film. But either way it goes, for me personally, I like this film. It's a great film, in my personal opinion. And speaking of July 27th, 1984, at the time of this recording, that was around 40 years ago when this movie came out. Not only that, but July 27th, that's my birthday as well. So, a win is a win in this video. Birthday, 40-year anniversary, talking about Prince. Hey, but moving right along, you go back and look at a movie like this. Now, it may not make a lot of sense to a lot of people who've seen this film, or if they ever watch it, they'll probably say the movie doesn't make any sense at all. Now, for anyone that ever went into this film looking for peak cinema, well, this isn't the movie for you. Because what you see with this movie is what you get. And speaking of Prince versus Morris Day in this film, before we had rap beefs, this right here was the original music beef, albeit on film, but it was entertaining nonetheless. I mean, 2024 is going to be the year that Drake and Kendrick Lamar went at it, but 1984 will be the year that Prince and Morris Day went at it, and not only this movie, but other several films that will come. I mean, it's also safe to say that you could call their rivalry, the battle of the light-skinned guys, but I digress. Now, 40 plus years later, this film still holds up as a cult classic. And not only that, but it also gives one of the best movie soundtracks ever made to a film, and also one of the best Prince albums ever made as well. And with that, Purple Rain remains as one of my all-time favorite films, and also favorite albums of all time. And to say that Prince was a great musician and a multi-talented artist is a huge understatement. You're talking about a guy that throughout his career wrote, produced, and played the instruments on all of his albums. Albeit he had to go back to the lab, but Prince didn't have no ghostwriters. He didn't. He was his own ghostwriter. He did his own thing. And from time in 1984 all the way up until his untimely death at the age of 57 in 2016, everybody that was on board with him, he was trying to make sure they got paid and make sure that they got the money that was owed to them. And to say that his death some 8 years later still isn't felt to this day and is a huge void throughout the entire music industry, that is an understatement in itself. But regardless, this movie, the soundtrack, the music, and the artist known as Prince himself are forever immortalized. Just my thoughts, just my opinion. And as always, just saying.